Mame fa na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de o se dem yopo.
Ebusia expose ke sie bia ba betodwa eye expose emu ye druye papa na special prosecutor I expose Ken Offori Atta any legal team no na according to special prosecutor no some days ago, I think 4 or 5 days ago, Ken Offori Atta news bar bontin say microphobia eboro and fear e mu che uniform na de ade no special prosecutor say omoboa na ye staged ade oma planning ho na oma sheda no mo ye because ni omo kika say special prosecutor and asma ni microphone e de abom premises no according to special prosecutor no small bia mba ho no omo mba ho na even though say omo list of investigations are omo here about Ken Offori Atta so far no ma frefre na omba no no omo na so every say omo no maba omo ni premises no dia and omo boy this time na omo no mba but according to omo no say omo no ba omo boria Ken Offori Atta fie so a Ken Offori Atta ni legal team no they will know say omo no maba no because identifications na they are they niam omo wo kwan omo fa so de omo dwumade bebre Ken Offori Atta any legal team no are very much aware of. It is omo jina no mo tutu yan ayampia say special prosecutor na esman microphone de be attack Ken Offori Atta dia any na omo boa because say omo ba premises ho they will know because any him say so no the 90 form also as a form the way also no different from say crime in the 90 form and according to special prosecutor no or no ko yo so no kese no or the 90 form say bra Ken Offori Atta any legal team no they will hear it wherever they are. Yanko TV video no ebra special prosecutor mu way any other things are or expose Ken Offori Atta any legal team no ewo sa issue we ho yanko tie na yembra sisia.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, a few minutes ago, I signed a directive declaring a high-profile person a fugitive from justice. This person is wanted by the OSP to answer charges in respect of several cases, including the following. 1. Contractual arrangements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. 2. Termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network improvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited and Beijing Zhaochen Technology BXC. 3. Procurement of contractors and materials and activities and payments in respect of the National Cathedral project. 4. Activities and payments in respect of a contract awarded by the Ministry of Health, initially commenced by the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for purchases and after-sales service and maintenance of 307 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 305 CDI ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. And 5. Payments out of and utilization of the tax refund account of Ghana Revenue Authority. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the fugitive's name is Kenneth Nanaya Offori Atta. Mr. Offori Atta is 66 years old. He was the Minister of Finance of the Republic between 2017 and 2024. Mr. Offori Atta left the jurisdiction on or around 2 January 2025. On 24 January 2025, the OSP communicated to Mr. Offori Atta that the OSP considered him a suspect in respect of 4 of the cases described above. Mr. Offori Atta was directed to attend in person the OSP on Monday, 10 February 2025 at 10 GMT for interview. By communication dated 31 January 2025, Mr. Offori Atta instructed his lawyers to inform the OSP that he was out of the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds. and that the firm will notify the OSP of his arrival in the country in aid of rescheduling his personal attendance at the OSP. Further, the firm offered its willingness to provide the OSP with any information the OSP may require to aid in the investigation until his arrival in the country. Then on 5 February 2025, the OSP responded to Mr. Offori, copied to his lawyers, that the OSP did not need or require notification from his lawyers of his arrival in the jurisdiction. The OSP acknowledged Mr. Offori's lawyers' gracious offer to provide the OSP with information in aid of the investigation. However, and this is important, the OSP insisted that Mr. Offori's personal attendance at the OSP was required. After all, the lawyers are not under investigation. I don't need lawyers to answer questions on your behalf when you are being investigated. The OSP declined Mr. Offori's request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds on his say-so. Consequently, the OSP directed Mr. Offori to indicate by close of business on Monday, 10 February 2025, a reasonable date of his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. The OSP warned Mr. Offori that if he failed so to do, the OSP would take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing. Subsequently, by communication dated 10 February 2025, that is just Monday, Mr. Offori's lawyers transmitted to the OSP a generic letter procured by Mr. Offori purporting to be from a doctor in a foreign jurisdiction, stating that Mr. Offori had been seen and evaluated, and that he was undergoing further testing and management and possible surgical intervention at an indicated future time. And further, that his medical condition necessitates that he will stay and follow up on his appointments. On account of this purported medical letter, Mr. Offori's lawyers prayed that the attendance in person of Mr. Offori at the OSP should be fixed, taking into account the medical report from his doctors. Then at 4:16 p.m. the very next day, it is yesterday, Tuesday, 11 February 2025, before we could respond to the letter that came on Monday, the OSP received another letter from Mr. Offori's lawyers. This time, it was an inquiry. Mr. Offori's lawyers wanted to know, and they stated that they were informed by the household of Mr. Offori that in the morning of Tuesday, 11 February 2025, that is yesterday, 12 men, comprising 1 police officer, 4 military men, and 7 other men in plain clothing, visited Mr. Offori's house, and that by threat of force, they were able to enter Mr. Offori's house, and they undertook an exercise purporting to be a search of every room, office, gym, and other spaces in the house. Mr. Offori's lawyers then inquired if the OSP could confirm that the actions of the 12 men were the instance of the OSP, so as to enable them to decide if a complaint to the police would be unnecessary. Mr. Offori's lawyers then prayed for a prompt response from the OSP to prevent imposter action. We are now responding promptly, and we have chosen the course of answering Mr. Offori's inquiry publicly at this briefing, considering the circumstances surrounding the purported raid at Mr. Offori's house, media reportage of the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that some media houses have stated emphatically that the OSP was behind the purported raid, and in light of the reckoning that the purported raid is being made to appear as if it was some untoward action by the OSP stemming from some contrived vendetta held by the OSP against Mr. Offori. So, here we go. And this is our response to Mr. Offori directly, but through you, the media. Mr. Offori, the OSP did not raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025, or on any other day. Mr. Offori, The OSP did not cause any persons, however uniformed or bedecked, to raid your house on Tuesday, 11 February 2025 or on any other day. Mr. Offori Atta, that could not have been the OSP, and that is not our style. If the OSP enters your premises, you will not be in doubt as to whether it was the OSP that had come there, and your lawyers will not have cause to do an inquiry ascertaining whether it was the OSP. We have our unique methods of conducting searches, and we have uniquely designed insignia identifying ourselves, and not just by a statement that we are from the OSP. This is one such main insignia. A person cannot just show up and say they are from the OSP. It's cheap, anyone can say that. But when the OSP enters your premises, you will definitely know by our insignia, our methods, and the way we identify ourselves that this is the OSP. Our intelligence.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.